ACT English, More Comprehension in Less Time, Part 1. This is Ken Boyd, the owner of St. Louis Test Preparation. This is the first in our series of English ACT videos. Our email and our phone number is listed here. You'll see our website later on in the video. First of all, what's the format for the ACT English exam? It's multiple choice, 75 multiple choice questions based on 5 prose passages. Portions of the text are underlined and numbered, and those are the areas that you have to address as questions. You're going to do one of two things with these questions. Decide whether to leave the text as it is, in other words, you think it's correct, or substitute for one of the choices provided, and you'll have 3 choices in most cases. The biggest student challenge: long sentences and lengthy paragraphs cause confusion. Things at the beginning of the paragraph are forgotten by the time you get to the end because of all the detail in the middle. So the key is to review for consistency of verb tenses, matching subject and verbs. Those types of issues require great focus, and it's easy for a student to get lost. The subject may be Bob, singular, at the beginning of the sentence. Beginning of the paragraph, you get 3 or 4 sentences in, and they've underlined the pronoun they, which is plural, and you've forgotten that the subject is singular, Bob, at the beginning of the paragraph instead of the plural because what you've had to read is so lengthy. One section of the exam deals with rhetorical skills. Order. Assess the order of items in a passage or the organization of the passage. Are the thoughts in a logical order? Language. Is the language used in the passage consistent? Is it appropriate? Or if it's past tense, are we using past tense throughout the entire paragraph, for example? And the most difficult is supporting a statement. How should the statement be supported? Should the paragraph be rearranged to make it more meaningful for the author to argue his point more effectively? Is some of the information unnecessary and doesn't advance the discussion? Those are the most difficult questions because they involve judgment. Types of questions with rhetorical skills. Descriptive terms. Select a term to describe the passage or describe the type of reader for whom the passage is intended. Well, we think the best way to describe the mood is dark and gloomy, or we think this is best directed to a reader who is skeptical about the information being presented, or someone who likes humor, likes things explained with humor. You're going to be asked to select from various descriptive terms. Strategy. Does the way the author write the article support his argument effectively? Was he correct to use an essay form? Would a biography have been better? What's the best strategy to get the idea across? Style. Select an adjective to best describe the style. Should the order of the words have been changed? What types of adjectives were used? Were they effective? Were they consistent throughout the reading? The other big area in English is usage and mechanics, and you're going to get questions on that area. And the overall goal is to use clear, effective, concise language. More words, more sentences isn't necessarily better. More flowery language is not always the right answer. The longer sentence, the one with the answer choice with more words, is not always correct. Punctuation, we spent a lot of time on this on later videos. Use of punctuation marks, commas, colons, dashes, etc. to clarify the meaning of a passage. We go into detail on punctuation in later videos. That's a usage and mechanic question. What types of questions do you get? Well, the basic stuff you've gotten all through school, basic grammar and usage. Test your knowledge and understanding of verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Matching those subject and verbs, make sure you have subject-verb agreement and the agreement of pronouns and the antecedent. Basic stuff that we've had throughout school that you may need a refresher on before the ACT. Sentence structure, the most difficult. The relation of clauses, the use and placement of modifiers, consistency, and tense. When the sentences and the paragraphs get longer, breaking apart and comparing these pieces of a paragraph becomes really difficult, and the most practice is needed on your part. A great source for the ACT is the Barron's ACT book. I use the 14th edition for my videos. The ACT site itself gives you a good review and descriptions of what's going on, and your library, your bookstore has tons of information in writing on the ACT for practice. That's the end of part 1. You'll find part 2 out on YouTube. For live tutoring sessions in person, we're also doing live chat sessions. You can go to our website, www.stltest.net. There's our phone number and our email address, and we appreciate your time. See you next time.